Hello GRE lovers, I hope all of you are fine. This video is practice for the triangles for the concept which we discussed in the last class. I have attached the link so that you can watch that if you haven't. And in the last, there are two questions for you to solve. Just solve those and just share the answer in the comment box. And if you like this video and if you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel so that you won't miss the next videos. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the first question for today. We have a triangle ABC which has length n, n plus 2 and 3n minus 1 where n is an integer. What is the parameter of triangle ABC? So we have a triangle with three sides. One is n plus 2 and one is 3n minus 1. So we asked what is the parameter? First of all, parameter is a length, is the sum of all of the lengths, sum of the three sides. So parameter is equal to sum of three sides, which is n plus 2 plus 3n minus 1. So this will be 5n plus 1. First of all, based on this, we can get some intuition that the final answer must be some value which is 1 greater than the multiple of 5. So based on that, we can simply ignore some answers. This is 1 greater than multiple of 5, so this is possible. This is not possible. This is again 1 greater than multiple of 5, possible. Again 1 greater than multiple of 5, possible, and no possible. So we have three possible values. Now let's see each of these separately. First of all, let's see D, which is 21. So three sides are n plus 2 and 3n minus 1. Their sum is 5n plus 1. So that means 5n plus 1 is equal to 21. 5n is equal to 20 and n is equal to 4. So three sides are 4, 4 plus 2, 6 and 11. Now we need to check whether these three sides make a triangle or not. For that, we need to use the triangle inequality rule that states that the third side, any side of triangle must be greater than the absolute difference of other two sides and less than the sum of other two sides. So if I consider a side 6, that must be greater than the difference of other two, that is 11 minus 4, which is 7, and this is not possible because 6 is not greater than 7. So this is wrong. Now let's see the option C, which is 16. So 5n plus 1, this sum must be equal to 16 for this to be right answer. That means 5n is equal to 15 and n is equal to 3. So three sides are 3, 5 and 8. So again, using a triangle inequality, if I consider this side 5, that must be greater than difference over the two sides, that is 8 minus 3, which is 5, and again this is wrong because 5 is equal to 5, not greater than 5, and this is the possible answer, but we can prove that. If I consider 11, so 5n plus 1 is equal to 11, that means 5n is equal to 10, that means n is equal to 2. So three sides are 2, 4 and 5. If I use a triangle inequality, so that means 4 must be greater than difference of other two 3 and less than sum, which is 7, and 2 must be greater than difference of other two, which is 1, and less than sum, which is 9, and 5 must be greater than difference of other two, which is 2, and less than the sum, which is 6, and the condition is satisfied. That's why the answer to this is option A. So this is simply testing the concept of triangle inequality, and using that concept, this option A is a required answer. So our required answer is option A, and the parameter of triangle ABC is 11. Just pause this video and try to solve this at your own and then see the solution. Okay, I assume that all of you paused the video and solved at your own. Now let's see, this is a question of the similar nature as we discussed earlier, but this involves variable. So let's see, if x is a positive integer and the two sides of certain triangles are triangle have length 3x plus 2 and 4x plus 5 respectively, which are the following could be the length of third side. The question asks could be the length, right? So read clearly but the question asks for could be or must. In could be, you just need to see one scenario in which that condition is possible, but in must be, all of the scenario must be satisfied. So in this could be scenario, you just need one answer, one option that satisfies the conditions. So we have a triangle with two sides 3x plus 2 and 4x plus 5. So if I consider this side, for example, as A, so based on triangle inequality, this must be greater than the difference of other two, the absolute difference, that is 4x plus 5 minus 3x plus 2, and less than the sum of other two, which is 3x plus 2 plus 4x plus 5. So that's mean this A must be greater than x plus 3 and less than 7x plus 7. Now I will substitute each option separately in place of A and check for one value of x so that the condition is satisfied. If I see the first scenario, A is equal to 6x plus 7. So 6x plus 7, is this value is greater than x plus 3 and less than 7x plus 7? Yes. If I assume x is equal to 1, so that's mean this is 7 plus 6, which is 13. So 13 is greater than 1 plus 3, 4, and less than 7 plus 7, 14. So this condition is satisfied. That's why this is a could be possible answer of this question. Now let's see the other scenario, the other option, which is A is equal to 6x plus 9. So in that scenario, let's come up with some value of x so that that condition is satisfied. For example, if I substitute x is equal to 1 or 2, the condition not satisfied. But if I substitute x is equal to 3, that's mean this is 18 plus 9, which is 27, is greater than 3 plus 3, 6, and less than 7 to 3, 21 plus 7, which is 28. So this condition is satisfied. That's why this is possible. Now let's see the last one, that is A is equal to 8x plus 1. So for this, if I substitute x is equal to 1, that's mean 8 plus 1, which is 9, is greater than x plus 3, and x is equal to 1, 1 plus 3, 4, and less than 7 plus 7, which is 14. That's why this is also possible. So based on could be case, all of these are possible when x is equal to 1 or maybe other values. We are just catering this for one value for now, when x is equal to 3 and when x is equal to 1. So based on these three values, all of the options are possible in the could be scenario. So that's why the answer to this is all 1, 2, and third option. Now again, pause the video for a while and try to solve this at your own and then see the solution. So assume you have paused the video and solved the question at your own. Now let's discuss this question. Again, this is the question with a similar nature, that if each side of triangle satisfy the equation x squared plus 18 is equal to 9x, so the parameter of triangle cannot be. So each side must satisfy this equation. So let's get a value out of this. So x squared plus 18 is equal to 9x, x squared minus 9x plus 18 is equal to 0. So if we just do the factorization of this, and based on that we find out that this is minus 6x minus 3x plus 18 is equal to 0, so that if we multiply these 6, 3, the answer is 18, and if we sum these, the answer is minus 9. So x minus 6 minus 3 into x minus 6 is equal to 0. So based on this, x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x minus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 6. So there are two possible values out of this equation. So that's mean that each side must be either 3 or 6. So let's try to see all of the possible scenarios. First scenario is if all of the sides are 6, that is equilateral triangle, yes, the sum will be 18, so this is possible. The next one is if all of the sides are equal to 3, having length of 3, so 3, 3, and 3, so this will be 9. This is also possible. Now the third one is a bit tricky. If two sides are equal to 6 and one side is equal to 3, now this is 15, but for this we need to check the triangle inequality. So if I consider any side, for example 3, so what is the difference of other two? 6 minus 6, which is 0, and 6 plus 6 is 12 possible. If I consider 6 side, the difference of other two is 3 and the sum is 9 possible. So based on the triangle inequality, this 15 is also possible. Now let's see the last scenario. If we have 2 times 3 and 1 times 6, that's mean the sum, the parameter will be equal to 12. But is this possible? We can see that. If I consider 3, so what is the difference of other two? 6 minus 3 is 3, and this is not possible, because any side of a triangle must be greater than the difference over the two sides based on triangle inequality, and that condition is negated here. That's why the parameter can't be equal to 12. All 9, 15, 18 are possible, but 12 is not possible based on the triangle inequality rule. So first three questions are based on triangle inequality. Now let's move further. Just pause the video for a while and try to solve this at your own. Okay, so I assume you have solved at your own. Now let's solve this. What is the value of x in the figure below? This question basically tests the concept of area. Though there are many ways to solve this, let's try to this using the efficient method. That for area, you need a base and a height with respect to that base. So if for finding the area, if I consider this 12 as a base, so height for that base is equal to 3. So area will be equal to 12, which is base, and height, which is 3 divided by 2. But if I consider this side 7 for finding the area, in that scenario, what will be the height? The height will be this perpendicular distance, the perpendicular length. So that will be 7 into x divided by 2. So as we discussed in the last video, that you can find area based on any base, but you need to consider the perpendicular distance with respect to that base to find the area. So for the first one, if I consider 12 as the base, the height is this distance. And if I consider 7 as the base, the height is this distance or length. So as the areas are same, just equate both 1 and 2. So that's mean 12 into 3 divided by 2 is equal to 7 into x divided by 2. This will cancel out and x is equal to 36 by 7. So just by equating the areas, we have figured out this length x is equal to 36 by 7. Okay. This is a very interesting question. Just pause the video and try to solve this at your own, and then we'll discuss. Okay, now let's discuss this question. We have two sides of triangle having the length of 6 and 8. So which are the following are the possible area of triangle? So in such questions, these are open-ended questions. We can choose multiple options for the answer. So in such scenario, always try to get a range, the maximum and minimum. So when we have a maximum area, when the triangle is a right angle triangle, because in that scenario we have the height which is maximum. So if this is a right angle triangle, this is 90 degree, this is a maximum height. But if we decrease the angle or if we increase the angle, the height will decrease, the maximum height when we have a 90 degree. So in the first scenario, if for finding the maximum area, so if I consider two legs as 6 and 8, so what is the area? Area will be just product of two legs divided by 2, which is 24. So the maximum area possible is equal to 24. So what is the minimum scenario? Minimum scenario is possible when we have a minimum height. So that is possible if I just decrease the height to the extent that is nearly equal to 0. Though we can never have a height of 0, otherwise that is not a triangle. But if I consider the height very much close approaching to 0, so in that scenario our area is minimum. So if I consider this as 8 and this as 6, and this is very much close to 0, right? So in that scenario, the area will be a bit greater than 0, but not exactly equal to 0. And because if I consider, for example, if I consider this as a base, the height is almost equal to 0, but not exactly equal to 0. If I consider 6 as a base, again height is almost equal to 0. That's why the minimum value is some value greater than 0. So our required area of triangle is greater than 0 or less than or equal to 24. This is the maximum value, and this is the minimum, which is not possible. There must be some value greater than 0. So possible, both of are greater than 0. That's why all of three options are possible for the area of this triangle. So the basic concept for this is the area is maximum when we have a right angle triangle. As we increase or decrease the angle from the 90 degree, the triangle height will decrease, and that's why the area will decrease. And we have minimum area when the height is approaching to 0. And ideally that is not possible. We can't have a 0 height and a triangle at the same time. But to find the minimum, that must be something greater than 0. So that's why the answer to this is 2, 12 and 24, all are possible. Okay, just pause with this video and try to solve it your own. Okay, let's solve this now. We have a right angle triangle and having area 28 and hypotenuse 12. So what is the parameter? This is a pretty much common type of question which is asked in this scenario. And let's try to solve this. If I consider a right angle triangle, and because this is open-ended, let's assume some variable. This is A, this is B, and this is C. Because this is a right angle triangle, so using the Pythagoras theorem, this A square plus B square must be equal to C square, and if I take the square root of both sides, so C will be equal to A square plus B square. So this C must be equal to A square plus B square, and this thing is equal to 12, the hypotenuse, and the next thing is area is equal to 28. So what is the area? Area is equal to A into B divided by 2, which is equal to 28. So AB will be equal to 56. We know this and this thing. So what is the parameter? So what is the parameter of this triangle? That is sum of all of the lengths A plus B plus hypotenuse, that is A square plus B square under root. So based on these two values provided, in any case if we have A plus B, so that we can find the parameter, that is possible. Let's see how. We know that A plus B square, this is algebraic formula, which is equal to A square plus B square plus 2AB. We have this thing and this thing. We can find this A plus B. So if we substitute A, B and this hypotenuse in this, I can find the value of A plus B square. So we know in the hypotenuse A square plus B square square root is equal to 12, and if I square both sides, A square plus B square is equal to 144, and we just need these two and substitute this in equation B. So that's mean A plus B square will be equal to 144 plus twice of 56, and this is equal to 256. And if I take the square root on both sides, that's mean A plus B is equal to 16, because length can't be negative. So that's why A plus B is equal to 16. So what is the parameter? That will be A plus B plus square root of A square plus B square. So this is 16 and this is 12. So this will be 16 plus 12, which is 28. So the required answer is 28. So in such scenario, just use the variable and solve, you will get the answer. And for such question, the common formulas you must know, that one is A plus B whole square, the other one is A minus B whole square, which is A square plus B square minus 2AB, and A square minus B square, which is A plus B and a minus b. We will discuss all of these in detail in the algebraic portion. So the answer is option C. Just pause the video and try to solve it your own. So I assume you have paused and solved it your own. Now let's quickly solve this. We have three sides, 10, 12 and x. For an acute angle triangle, how many integer values of x are possible? So if acute angle, just the concept we discussed in the last class. In the acute angle, as we know that all of the angles are less than 90, but assuming that this angle is maximum angle in the triangle, although less than 90 but maximum. So these are three sides, A, B and C. So the formula for this will be a square plus b square must be greater than c square, and c is opposite of the largest angles. And using this, let's solve this. We have three sides, 10, 12 and x. So we can make two scenarios. The first scenario is that when 12 is the maximum length, one side length of a triangle, and when x is a maximum length of one side of triangle. So in first scenario, if 12 is a maximum length, so this is 12 and this is a maximum angle, right? And this is x and this is 10. So using the formula, x square plus 10 square is greater than 12 square. So that's mean x square plus 100 is greater than 144. That's mean x square is greater than 44. The first thing we need to know. The second, again using this 10, 12 and x is the maximum side, and using this formula, 10 square plus 12 square is greater than x square. So that's mean 100 plus 144 is 244 is greater than x square. And just now use these two because these two are making an inequality. Just combining these two, that's mean x square is greater than 44 and less than 244. And if I take the square root on both sides to find the value of x, and remember x is an integer, so that's mean x will be greater than, let's approximate, you don't need to find exact value. So this is the square of a value which is greater than 6 but less than 7, so let's assume 6 point something, we don't know exact value. Likewise, this is a value which is greater than 4, 15 but less than 16, so this will be 15 point something, whatever the values doesn't matter. We need to find the integer values, so the exact value which is inclusive in this, that will be 7 and 15. So to find the total values, that will be 15 minus 7 plus 1. Plus 1 is because both of these are inclusive. So using this, the total number of integer value of x which are possible are 9. And that's why the answer to this is option C. You can simply count this as well. That is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. These are 5 and these are 4, the sum to 9. So this is such type of question in which you need to see the possible scenarios and build up the possible ranges. And this type of questions in which you need to see various cases, just like in this acute angle triangle, or there could be obtuse angle triangle. You need to see all of the relevant cases and at last just find the value of, it's just like in this scenario, find the value of x with the ranges. So just see all the possible cases and based on this, that make a range and find the value. And there is another thing, that we take a square root of x square. Someone may ask that there's a negative values as well, but the length of the triangle are all of the length of a triangles are positive. That's why we can't include the negative in this. But as we will discuss this in detail in the algebraic portion, that when we include a negative value and the positive value, so whether the square root of a square is negative or not, we'll discuss all of that in detail in the algebraic portion. So the answer is 9. Just pause the video and try to solve it your own, and then let's see. Okay, I assume that you have paused the video and solved that. So let's solve this now. An isosceles triangle, So an isosceles triangle with sides 2a, 4a and 4a. So we have isosceles triangle with two same sides as 4a and 4a and one different side which is 2a. And the area of the triangle is 64 under root 15, and area is equal to 64 under root 15. This is another type of question, and remember, most of the time you will get isosceles triangle question, you will ask to find the area, and in this scenario you are provided the area, you are provided with the length in form of variable, you are asked to find the variable. The other scenarios, you are provided with the constant values for the sides, you need to find the area, but the concept is same. The concept is, if you draw a altitude or median or angle bisector from the vertex opposite this vertex to the side which is unequal, it will overlap. By overlap I mean that it will be altitude, the perpendicular distance, the perpendicular height, the median and the angle bisector. It will act all of these at the same time. So that's when this will bisect 2a. So we have a on this side and we have a on this side. Now to find the area, we need this base and this height. We know the base, but for height let's assume this as x. So, and this is a right angle triangle. Based on that we can find the value of x. So using the Pythagoras theorem, this x square plus a square is equal to 4a square. So that's mean x square plus a square is equal to 16a square, x square is equal to 15a square, and x is equal to a under root 15. Now using this, we know this x now, we know this base, and let's equate this to the area and find the value of a. So what is the area? The base is 2a and the height is a under root 15. Base into divided by 2, this is base, this is height, divide by 2 and equate this to the area. We know the area. This will cancel out, this will cancel out. So a square is equal to 64. Just take the square root on both sides. That's mean a will be equal to 8. So the value of a in this scenario is equal to 8. So the only takeaway from this question is, and you should know the property for the isosceles triangle of the median, angle bisector and the altitude, and that's the most common type of question which we will see for the isosceles triangle. Okay, this is another type of question for isosceles triangle. Just pause the video and try to solve this at your own. Okay, I assume that you have paused this and solve it your own. Now let's discuss. We have isosceles triangle PQR. So we have some sort of isosceles triangle which is P, Q and R, and angle Q is equal to 80. Okay, then what is the sum of the possible values at angle P? So this is a isosceles triangle, so we have choice, so we need to see various cases in this. So let's see the first case. Consider PQ is equal to QR. That means these two sides are equal. So if this is 80, the sum of angle in a triangle is equal to 180. So rest is 100. So that means 50 on this side and 50 on this side. So based on that, the angle P is equal to 50. Now let's see the other scenario. The other scenario is, if this is 80 and this is P, Q and R, and if I say that this angle is also 80 because this is isosceles triangle, so that's mean this side and this side are equal and this angle is different. The sum is equal to 180, so 160 minus 180 minus 160 is equal to 20. So in that scenario, angle P is equal to 80, and this could be inverse as well. That's mean this angle P could be equal to 20. So if I consider this triangle Q, P and R, now if this is 80 and this is 80, now these two sides are equal and this side is different, and 80, 80, 160 and 20 to make up the 180. Now angle P is equal to 20. So we have these three, just sum these, 50 plus 80 plus 20, which is equal to 150. So the sum of all possible values at angle P will be equal to 150 degree. So the answer is 150. This is another type of question, and this is a very interesting question. Just quickly solve this. Just pause the video and try to solve this at your own, and then we will discuss. Okay, I assume you have solved at your own. So this is a question. In the following figure, AC is equal to 5. This is equal to 5, and angle A is equal to angle B. That's mean both of these sides are equal. So next thing is angle D is equal to C by 2. So let's call this as C by 2. We need to find this CD. Okay, so there are two ways to solve this question. If I use the exterior angle property, and let's suppose if I call this as X. So based on exterior angle property, this exterior angle must be equal to the sum of other two opposite interior angle. So that means C must be equal to X plus C by 2. That means X will be equal to C minus C by 2, and X is equal to C by 2. So this is equal to C by 2. Now both of these angles are equal. That means this side and this side are equal. So if this is 5, this will also be 5. So the answer is 5. Now the other way is that because the sum of angle on C is equal to 180, so what will be this? This will be 180 minus C. So again assume this as, for example, X. So X plus 180 minus C plus C by 2 is equal to 180, because sum of angle triangle is equal to 180. Just cancel this out. That means X will be equal to C by 2. So that's why it is good idea to just use this exterior angle property to quickly find the value of this X, as we know that both of these angles are equal. That's why both of these sides are equal. That's why the answer is 5. Now in this triangle BC is equal to BD, which is equal to DC, and this is equal to AD. So if AB is equal to 10, so what is the length of AC? What is this whole length? This is a bit tricky question. Okay, so in this question, let's see what can we do. Because all of these sides are equal, that means this is equilateral triangle, 60, 60 and 60. Because the angle on the triangle is on a straight line is 180 degree, that means this is 60, this one must be 120. And the angle in total in a triangle is equal to 180 degree. So if this is 60, these two sides are equal, that means these two angle must be equal. So this will be 30 and this will be 30. So that 60 plus 120 is equal to 180 degree. Now in any case, if we find this length or this length, we can find this whole AC. So if I just consider A, B, D in isolation, this is A, B, D in isolation. Because both of these sides are equal, this is isosceles triangle. And if I draw a perpendicular from this side to the other, that will bisect the other side as well as bisect the angle, because of property we discussed earlier. So this angle is 120, so this is 60, this is 60, this is 30, and this is 90, and this is bisect the sides, so 5 and 5. Now we can find these two sides. How can we find this? If you see this is 30, 60 and 90 triangle, 30, 60 and 90, ratios are x under root 3 and 2x. So in front of 60 this is 5. So equate this, x under root 3 equal to 5. That's mean x is equal to 5 pi under root 3. Now we know the x, we know this side. So this is in front of 90. So what will be 2x? 2 will be 5, 2 into 5 over under root 3. So this is 10 over under root 3. So this side is equal to 10 by under root 3, 10 by under root 3, 10 by under root 3 and 10 by under root 3. So we're asked to find the value of AC. So this AC will be equal to 10 by under root 3 plus 10 by under root 3, which is 20 by under root 3. Now if I see the options, none of the options exactly in this form 20 by under root 3. And remember, sometime you will get the answer, but in the options that answer is not in the same exact form. You need to just change that form. So how can I change this? If I multiply square root 3 and divide by square root 3, so in that scenario this will be 20 square root 3 divided by 3, because square root in the square root 3 is equal to we'll take the square and square will cancel out, so this will be 20 square root 3 divided by 3, and that's why the answer to this is 20 square root 3 divided by 3. And this is your first one. Just try to solve this at your own, and just answer that in the comment box. And be prepared for such question in exam in which you need to think a bit. This is not straightforward question. You need to think and a bit logical to solve this question. This is first question and this is second question. Try to solve these two questions at your own and let me know the answer in the comment box. And if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment box and I will try to answer your queries.